right now we're doing a really quick test run. I am going to check and see if you guys here on YouTube can get us live as we stream live on Facebook. So let's see if it works. Even if, I don't think you can even stream live on the computer. Can you? Tag photos. You cannot. If you want to continue.
What's your channel show at through YouTube?
Tayla Andre.
The stream, the YouTube?
Mm-hmm. It's if they go, it'll pop up as live.
Tayla
Andre. So it's two A's.
Hold on. Tayla
Mm-hmm.
R
A.
Oh,
Two
it's
A's.
two A's.
Mm-hmm.
R
AND.
D.
Let me see.
I don't know about
Because I think I may have put in
Oh.
AND.
Lane behind right over there. That's you used to do that all day long. You know what you're doing. Some people not computer. I'm not a computer dude. Yeah, people for that.
Here. So for those that are currently on YouTube, give me a second. I'm sending Facebook the information.
Can you text me the different links?
Yes. We're friends on Facebook, right?
I think I requested you.
Your business page?
No, I think.
Bear with me, darling. Give me a moment.
Yeah, we're friends. That's the pupil light hope. That's actually my name. So Blaine means pupil. Brahani means light.
So you just translated your name.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Only insider scoopers. I didn't know that.
Hope. Now down with hope. I don't like hope. That's what Jesse Jackson said. What do you say? What do you say? Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive.
Say it again. Light, hope.
Pupil light hope.
People. Light.
EPIL. Light hope. The world. Light of the world, I'm your. Bliss.
Thank you.
Actually, y'all actually pronounce bliss.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, bliss. Bliss means blood sacrifice.
Much.
Okay, you know that's how I got that part. But have you ever been in certain places, like in LA? Have you ever been to a cult place?
A cult?
Like in a cult place?
Mm-hmm.
You look at the spelling of the word. It's going to be bliss, not bless.
I can't find you, baby. Maybe because it's your business? No, I have you.
Nothing about hers is PUPIL.
If it's taking too long, maybe you can just.
There you are.
Yeah.
Pupil. I put people. No judgment.
People.
I'm not afraid to admit my ignorance, y'all.
It's all good. Me neither.
That's how we do.
I say ignorant.
Okay. Yay. Okay, so we're here. We're live. Let's go back. There we are. Can we see your eyeballs? There they go.
Why? Why I can't wear my
So
glasses?
I don't. We can.
He's thinking I'm in the house. Viva.
So we were outside. We talked about a lot actually outside.
I had to wake up. I was trying to wake up, but we was outside. We was talking about degrees. You know, good my memory is.
So break that down one more time. Talking about degrees. DE meaning to go back. So I'm wondering why I even got a degree from college if I was going back.
I know, but I don't want people to. It's hard because I tell people this a lot. It's hard because you've been conditioned that way, not taught. You've been conditioned not to think. This is why we did a video called Critical Thinking 1 and 2. Think, and they teach critical thinking in certain schools. I was in, what's that preacher name? Flagger, Dr. Pastor Flagger from Chi-Town.
Never heard of him.
You never heard Dr. Flagger?
I haven't.
You saw Chirac?
Yeah. Oh no, I haven't.
Okay, remember Obama? Okay,
I got it.
The whole storyline, right? Father Flagger is in Chi-Town. He's the only European preacher that's there that they respect. He got a compound damn near in Chi-Town. And I was there with Bambada about a month ago. And actually, he was in the classroom. And in the classroom, they had a civics book sitting in a grade school. He has a school. And the book was shoved in my face and it said, Critical Thinking. This is grade school. And I'm looking at, I took a picture of the book and I'm reading the book and it talks about how you critically think. And I'm saying, well, what happened? We was taught this in grade school. What happened now? Like, why don't we critically think now until you go to a certain college or Ivy League or private school and you taught to critically think? That means that you don't just jump out and say things. Like I said before, I don't know if I said it on your show, we need to stop saying white supremacy. There's no such thing. Supreme, the prefix will be supreme. So they can't be supreme over you. It's inferiority. That's what it is. So going back to the word degree again, a prefix and a suffix is you understand how this thing works. A prefix and a suffix, the denotations, the connotations. So when you're talking about, like I said earlier, jurisdiction, juris means law and diction means to speak the law. That's what it is, jurisdiction. That's why Malcolm said no good diction. So you understand words. So understanding where words are placed at. So you just don't burst out because you heard it and you repeat it. They say think first before you react. You think. What we do is automatically just say it. So now we say, I have a degree in something. Nobody said, well, let's analyze the word degree and see what it is. Oh, brother, that's playing with words. No, it's not. It's not playing with words.
It's spelling.
Not pun. It's spelling. And that's why they call stuff spelling. Why? Because you're casting the spell on yourself anyway. You don't even realize it. They say spell it. Or you're cursing yourself when you write in cursive because that's not how we wrote. You see what I'm saying? Like,
hold up.
You follow me?
Rabbit hole.
Watch how this works. When we do, there's a difference between an autograph and a signature.
What's the difference?
Signatures can be removed and placed from one place to the other place. An autograph is written in. You ever see a painting? You don't see it written in cursive. You see the person's name, a capital S, small a, B-I-R. It's written in, so you can see it on the paint. Go look at any paintings that you see. It will never be in cursive writing. Never. See that.
So that makes me think, I don't know if these two relate, but it makes me think about when you get bills in the mail and your name is in capitalized letters.
Non-de guerre. They're not proper names. If you study mail fraud, you can go online, people, look it up. Mail fraud 1341. Mail fraud.
Why do you know 13? Why do you know that?
Why I know the codes?
Yes.
I can tell you codes ungodly. It's in here. So you got to know it. That's why I'm telling people. So if you talk about me putting in the crazy home, no, they'll probably be in the crazy home by the time I'm finished because I'm going to guide you directly to it. This is why I talk to people and say, you go directly and see what I'm talking about. When you see it, what they'll do is say, shh, man, this is, you can
start getting scared.
And that's what happens. Someone asked me that. They said, are you scared? I said, no, I don't live that way. I don't live that way. My life is not like that to be scared. I'm here to tell the truth. It's not, and that's how it is in Islam. It's not what you do. It's not, the afterlife. It's like what you do while you are here to live on. So rather or not, this projection is here. It's always, I'm gonna live forever. And that's how it was with Malcolm. You see what I'm saying? So you always project yourself into the future. So rather you hear or not, your grandchildren, your great grandchildren will see you. And that's just how it is. Our people say, oh, brother, I don't want that, man. They want to come at you. They're going to come at you regardless.
Yeah.
Whether you fight or don't fight. See what I'm saying? So that's why I said, you can put me or try to put me in that position, but I'm going to show you and quote it for you. That's why I said 1341 of mail fraud, which means that if you're sending mail to someone's name and the name is not proper names, that's mail fraud. Proper names is spelled how? Capital letters, small. Look at court cases sometimes.
Pause, because my student loans come in capital letters.
That's not you.
As mail fraud.
It's not you. It's mail fraud, but you got to study mail fraud. But they won't tell the average person that. When you study proper grammar, there is a test, people. You can look it up. It's called the Kansas City 8th grade grammar test. You can go online, look it up.
The Kansas City
8th grade grammar test from the 1800s. It tells you math, grammar. It would teach you all that. And at the end of the test, it states, imagine someone else in the 21st century passing this, even if it's a college professor. See if they can pass an 8th grade grammar test. Nope.
Really?
Look it up. When you get a chance, look it up. It's called the 8th grade grammar test of Kansas. And they can't pass it because they've been indoctrinated. Because once you understand the grammar, you're good. So when you look at it, it tells you what is a proper person's name. And a proper person's name is spelled with a capital first. They say it in court, state your name for the record. And they'll go blah, 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 but you don't pay no attention. So now when you're getting stuff ushered into the mail with something with all caps, you don't even realize it because you've been conditioned for years. You have 12 years of brainwashing camp, and you have probably another 6 more years of brainwashing camp in college. That's what it is. So now you're not thinking that way. You don't understand what proper grammar is. So that's why when you made those comments, oh, they will probably have you in the crazy home. I've been doing it for 17 years. They will never even, I challenged professors before. I said, I challenge, give me your best of the best attorneys. Bring me your best of the best professors and let's have open dialogue. I bet you they never would. Never. For the past 17 years, I did radio for 14 years and I've been saying that. They would never do that. Never.
Nobody?
Nope, never. Maybe they would do it on here. I don't know. Maybe one of them try to boost the egos and try to do it. But I say research me first before you do it. And I think that's what they were doing. I'm not going to put myself out there on the board. And what happens, I would say, bring all your degrees and I will burn every last one of them while we're on the stage. They say, Nas had a song said, to be the best, you challenge the best. And the rest is no contest. What did he mean by that? Bring me your best. So when you beat the best, it's like fighting. Mm-hmm. Give me him. You ever see a martial art movie? I want that one right there. So when I break him down, the rest of them have nothing else to say. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? That's a Bruce Lee move. Remember that? That's all it is. So when we say, bring me your best, because once you overstand again, and I say overstand, that the universities all come from your forefathers. Europeans never could teach you nothing. No. All universities come from your forefathers. And when you look at the modern day universities, all the universities, we say what do they call them? HBCUs or black colleges? There's no such thing as a black college. There is none. I just watched it on CNN. They talking about shutting down the colleges or something.
Because they don't have enough funding.
No, listen to this. Listen to it. I'm going to show y'all something how simple this is. I watched that. I used to do inside work for Vote TV in LA, right? And I will have to curb what I'm saying when I get on that station. But on my show, I can say what I want to say. But I understand where I'm at. So I have to play that game. So I get up here, okay, I'm watching CNN the other day and I said, wow, this is crazy, man. Like, they talking about changing the names. They can change the name. Roland Martin made a big thing. We're going to bring the analysts on. We're going to bring the analysts. Like, analysts of what? Of what? Like, I'm watching and talking to the TV. Like, is this real? Like, they're going to change the name because they didn't have the funding. I said, first and foremost, they need to shut them down anyway because they're not black colleges. What are they teaching? They're teaching about slavery most of the time in there, that our history started in slavery. I just was in Harlem yesterday. The new Roots movie, right? We questioned the dude that was passing the flyers out. You know what he said? It's not a real story. It's a fiction. I said, damn, but people would think that that's real. So now we in the HBCUs now talking about our history as slavery. And I'm like, dude, that's not real, So they don't want the real in the colleges. So I'm watching them say they're going to shut them down. How are you going to change a college name? And if it is a black college, why it's not Harriet Tubman? Why is it not Nat Turner? We can go on and on and on. Why we don't have those names? Why are we not talking about the Moors inside that college? Why are we not speaking of the Moors that was here in America if it's a black college? You follow me? So again, it's not our college, it's theirs. So they can pull their funding. What happens when you study history, facts again, the federal government in the Dred Scott case, I mentioned this on your show, in the Dred Scott case, it stated that they were protected properly under the federal government. This is when you hear them say they're going to give their federally funded money. Recently, I watched the news when they was talking about in North Carolina, I think it was, about the same-sex bathroom, and the attorney general comes out and she says, well, we're going to hold our federally funding from North Carolina. What does she mean by that? That meant that she's going to hold the money. The only reason why you have integration in where you have it at now is because of affirmative action. It's because the federal government is giving the states money in a territorial jurisdiction. That's how it's set up. So when you hear them say, oh, we got blacks, so because they have to do that, or they're going to hold their funding. So now they're telling it out from North Carolina, if you don't let this happen, we're going to pull the funding from you. That's what they're talking about. But if you're not conscious, you would never get it. If you don't understand political science, you would never get that either. But you must study history to understand what is happening. So there is no such thing as a black college. The only reason why it's there is because they have to do that. They have to do this.
What about all of us out here that have $46,782 worth of student loans?
I knew she great go at with this. I knew she was. I said I knew it. This is why I charge for consultation. If you can pay an attorney for $500 or $1,000, you can come sit with me and pay me that. See what I'm saying? But they're not going to give you this information. What I'm telling you. If you look at law, we talked about it earlier. I was talking to Blaine, and I said we rolled across the bridge, right? The mint is in Philadelphia. Mint is a Latin word which means metal, or moneta, which means money. There is no money being made there in the mint anymore. You've got notes in your pocket. If you pull out the note, it says note, right? Now, let me show you how crazy and simple this is. Basic civics. Again, the Constitution says no debt can be other than silver and gold. I'm going to repeat that again. The Constitution says no debt can be paid. No debt can be paid other than silver and gold. Basic constitutional. Everybody say they're a constitutional attorney. Read it. So now I'm giving you a debt note, which is paper, and money is not paper. If you study law, if you have a law dictionary, you can look it up. It will tell you money is metal, bonds, stuff like that. And it says it does not embrace notes. That's what the law book says.
So in a sense, the feds are printing nothing.
You can create credit out of thin air. You can.
So it's illegal in a sense.
Exactly. But the people
so
are unconscious.
How do you even? Is there anybody out there now that, like yourself, knows this to be true? Says, I don't fuck with money. I don't fuck with credit card. All that is fake. I'm not going to deal with it.
It's about playing chess. It's a chess game. I don't play physical chess, even though we invented chess. The Moors invented chess, and I don't play it. We invented all that. But I understand life's chess. I know where I'm at. I was there. I didn't want credit cards. I didn't want that. If I don't even have credit now, I have debit cards. There's two total difference. You ever notice they say, do you want credit or debit? You want to make it credit or debit? They tell you all day long, credit, debit. You be like, oh, credit. Okay, then we're going to charge you on it. This is how crazy it is. Now, when you open up accounts, it's the same thing. You have a what? Checking account. And what's the other one? Savings, right? Checking, savings. What is a savings? A savings is drawing interest. It's interest. So now you're going to draw interest off. They're going to charge you or tax you on the interest of your savings, not your checkings. Your checkings is your cash that you put in there, not drawing any kind of interest. See how crazy this is? But when you study the banking laws, you will understand that. You understand the banks can't loan its credit. Can't loan credit, period.
So how do we even have this system and everybody's just sleeping and like
paid off? I was watching Barbershop with Ice Cube, the other one with Eve in it. I was watching that the other day. I think that's the first one, second one, whatever it was. And there was a scene in it. I laugh at all this stuff. I'm watching the scene when they went in the room. Remember he was going in and he was talking to, I think, the Congress dude or whatever the dude was, and they were sitting down and he passed them the money, and Q walked in on them and he saw them slide the money. He said, you ain't never see this before. You know what I mean? Like he was saying, you never saw this.
Mhm.
That's what type of stuff that is happening right now with our people. That's what's going on. It's not. It's like to say the cheapest thing you can buy is a nigga and a stick of gum. That's just how it is. You don't have real genuine people wanting to help people, and the real genuine people that is helping people don't get support from the people. You see what I'm saying? That's how it operates. I always said you have the wrong people in the right places, and that's how it is. You're looking for someone to wear a suit and a tie when they're the wrong ones. They're the biggest gangsters. Because last time I checked, gangsters wore suits, not khaki pants, not pants hanging past their butts, but they flip it to make you think that they're the thugs, the gangsters, and all that. See, and this is why even when KRS-One was saying one time, the one who condemns is the one who loses. Why don't you create a pair of underwear with drawers connected to it and make some money off of it? Because somebody's going to do it. But you're looking at that person as a gangster. That's not the gangster. The gangster's working every day. You see what I'm saying? So now this is why we have the problems that we have. We have the people going to the colleges. We have the people getting indoctrinated so they can go back into the neighborhoods. I don't want to say community, in the neighborhood and tell you to go get a good job. No, I say, which is different. Like I said, again, lose your job and find your work. Everybody has it in them. You follow me? So now I'm the one that's crazy, but I'm the one that's saying, listen, this is how you save yourself. Don't look for nobody else to save you. Save yourself. Here it is. Here's the key that you need to save yourself. But they don't want to have that kind of talk. And then they want to play the blame game, the other ones. Oh, well, brother, we have a post-traumatic slave syndrome. Oh, brother, we have white supremacy because the white man is doing this. No, he's not. You're doing it to yourself because light penetrates darkness. When you have that light, it's like saying a laser beam trying to get through something. Laser beam going to shoot straight through it. So when you have that light or the illuminated ones, your light shines on everybody. And no, wait a minute, we don't want him over here because his light is going to shine. That's what Jesus was talking about. He wasn't talking about do this. He said, follow me. That's what he's talking about because he was the light. He was the truth for my Christians. That's what he was talking about. Not because he said, oh, come do it this way. No, he said, look, follow me here. Here it is. This is what it is. So the same thing that we're doing is saying, look, you heard me many times say, don't follow me. I'm going to give you the keys to free yourself. It's up to you. But we don't look at people because I don't wear a suit and a tie. This is me every day. Get on the subway. Walk with the people in Southside Chi-Town. You see what I'm saying? You're not looking for this. You're looking for the one on the TV with the Benz or the Bentley and the one that's wearing the noose around the neck. The tie around the neck. Because that's what it is. The noose. It's the tie. You didn't know that? You can choke a person with it if you fight. Open it up. You follow me? Basic. I will never wear a tie on my. You don't get it? And we have a lot of so-called scholars that's like that. But either they know. I gotta stop saying that because my assistant, she keeps saying, these people know. She said they know what it is, but they're not gonna tell you that. They want to blame somebody else. Oh, that's white supremacy. White supremacy. Did you ever look up the word supremacy? No, they didn't. They just told you that. Because people are like sheep. They like to follow. When you were even the book, The Alchemist.
I love that book.
Yes. Will Smith turned me on to that book. That's a hell of that book. If you read that book, it speaks about the Moors in that book through the whole book. So it's not the Moors as if the Moors are somebody that came in 14. No, bro, it's us. And I'm reading it. I tried to reach out to Polio. I tried to reach him. But the book was speaking about being your own personal legend. What did that mean? Being your own personal legend.
You're gonna make me go back and read that.
Read it.
That was like, for me, that was like my romance. I don't know. It was just so beautiful though.
What was he talking about? What was the movie that Will Smith played in? He was in it by himself. What was the movie he played in?
What was it? Was it the one with the mannequins? He was talking to the mannequins and
What's
then
the
the
name
white
of the
girl
movie?
showed up.
What's the name of the movie?
I forgot.
She just said it.
I Am Legend.
He was by himself. Remember?
Yeah.
When he started talking to himself, he was getting inside himself. They said that never happened before. Besides Eddie Murphy doing something like that, playing a movie by himself just like that. What it was, he tapped into something. When you watch the whole movie, he tapped into himself. When he was talking, and when you read the book, it talks about all the stuff that you're looking for is inside you. That's what education is, to draw out what's in you.
what they're doing is putting inside you. So when you read the book, it's talking about when the dude was traveling, he was looking for something, like our people are looking for things to blame, to look for this, and going to Egypt and trying to find stuff in Egypt. No, dude, it's right in front of your face, right here. So that's what the book was based on. And when he was traveling, he was moving about, buying books, and he bought one book and put it away and got another book, a thicker book, and traded that book and he got another book. So by the time he got to where he was going, they said, damn, I already found it. It was already here in me. So he's looking to go to Egypt now for the answers. But what he was looking for was already in him.
So,
But along the way in the story, he was basically, the guy would say, give me part of your share and I will show you X, Y, and Z. And this is what is happening with our people, right?
and then he found himself right back with the sheep.
There you go. So now that's why I sit amongst the sheep, the people who are asleep. And I'm going to say, here it is, like Jesus did. Like, okay, here it is right here.
So one of the things that confused me, and I really, so this has been bothering me. The first time I read it, my son's 13, was probably 13.
1 and 3 is 4.
Yeah. So 4 years ago, when he turned into sand, when he was at the top of the mountain and he turned into sand, and that one part lost me. And I've been thinking about that for the past decade.
As far as turning into sand?
Yeah, in the Alchemist at the end when.
But you are the alchemist, and this is what happens. What is the slogan that Obama used when he was coming out?
Yes, we can.
No, it wasn't.
Is it not? It wasn't.
Change, wasn't it? It was change,
Hope.
and it was something.
Change.
No, it wasn't hope. Alchemy means you can change. Like it's not a physical thing; it's a spiritual change. Like most people don't know. They say, "Well, Sabir, why you have stuff on your neck?" Like you asked me. This is called a motorbike. I can travel, transmute somewhere else while I'm sleeping. That's how we did things when we slept. I know that may be scared. You know, some people may get scared of that.
No, because they know about the Dugon tribe.
Yeah, but that's what we were operating. But we have to tap back into ourselves. We are the alchemists. We are the change. That was the slogan. We are the change. We are looking for something else or someone to change it when it's already in you. But what happens? It's like that candle is lit, and if you have a candle and you blow that candle out, right? That candle has a flame, smoke that comes up. If someone takes a candle and ignite that smoke that's coming up, what happens? That one that you blew out is going to ignite right back up again. So that's why you have to be the light bearer of the people. And the light bearers of the people who claim to be Masons and the Shriners and the lodges is not telling our people. And that's your job. So really you're misleading yourself and your people. And they're in all your fraternities. They wear your fez on their head. They tell you all these stories. They's in your banks.
I was under the impression that upon becoming one of the Divine Nine, that there was knowledge there, and knowledge that most did not have. That's why it was a sorority. That's why it was a fraternity. It was, hidden secret knowledge for that group.
Yeah, it was. So, it still is like that.
But are they not aware?
No, they're not. I hear people saying societies. You hear that word a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Secret
Especially
society.
now.
Anything that's secret is sacred. Just drop the vowels. You follow me?
I
again,
got
you gotta understand the language again. You're not being taught this unless you're in an adept chamber, which you have to go through. So when we're talking about secret societies, everything always was sacred to certain people, and you have to grow. You have to be in what we would call adept chamber for people to come into to get it. And the college, suppose what they do is they breed people to basically be superior over their own, basically.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. And when you watch the colleges, this is what they're doing. So now we coming out of colleges thinking that we're better than our own people instead of going back teaching our people who they truly are. That's why I said there is no such thing as a black college, because they're not bringing our people up out of the dark or where they at or out of that shadow grave that they're in.
Outside of what you do, outside of what Dr. Umar Johnson does, outside of, the selected few, are there colleges, universities, schools of thought that teach along these lines without you meeting in secret, like the Underground Railroad?
I don't know any of them. I really don't. I don't know none. Maybe the listeners, ask them. They may know some. I don't know. Half of the stuff that I'm speaking about, again, I know that's over their heads. They probably sitting there saying, "This guy is crazy." But that's why you hear me quote certain books, certain laws that you can look up for yourself. See what I'm saying? So I don't want you. I'm not one of these professors to profess to know. This professor in DC one time. I'm not professing to know. You're professing to know.
And that goes back to the.
Yeah.
So with a 10-year-old and with a 12-year-old, let's say the people that are tuned in, that are listening, they have kids.
Mhm.
And you know, this makes sense. I might not be with you on the religion aspect, but when it comes to, and this is
religion.
because I understand Christians.
Yeah, me too.
So
But I'm a Christian too. I'm Christ-like.
And godly and loving. For the people who want to start their children on the path that they were unaware of, I know you do have a book. What is it?
Talking about this one? 33 questions. I mean, I would just say pick up a regular Webster's dictionary, though. Honestly, that's just me. And like my son, you talking about this one?
There it is.
32 questions as a Morris child.
Mm-hmm.
But
Can we open it? Can we see what one question is? Maybe one or two, without answering.
But when my son was 5 years old, and I have a 16-year-old sister that's in Atlanta right now, she's getting ready to start giving law classes in Atlanta. 16. She's been studying this since she was 14, listening to my radio show since she was 14. And I told her I would give her all the necessary tools to have these classes.
So really quickly, did you know that the lawful form of government for the United States of America is a Republican form of government, not a democracy? Did you know that famous Moroccan name Benjamin Banneker
Ben Bay
was a historical cover-up of the real name
Ben Bay.
Who? Talk about that.
Ben Bay is his name. Benjamin Banneker he did the almanacs and the clocks and stuff like that. That's who Ben Bay was. And also
Big Ben
Bay,
clock.
the clock in London.
Wow.
That's the London clock. Now the London clock, the one they have, is actually from the one in Philadelphia. If you look at the one in Philadelphia, that is the only clock that's yellow at nighttime. And then look at the clock in London. Our history is in London all over. Our history is there. Well, people don't even know. It's placed.
Can we get that back?
Which one?
I was being facetious.
No. But see, this is what happens. You have to take it back through your knowledge. And that's the first thing you do. You take it back through your knowledge. Even down to Republic. I'm going to show you how crazy this is. Now, we say we have constitutional attorneys, right? We are constitutional attorneys, and we have PhDs and CBSs and NBCs, right?
Mm-hmm.
All these titles. Say the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge of allegiance to the flag for the United. You know what? I can honestly say I remember being in 6th grade, and I stood up one day, and the teacher told me that she was going to give me a detention because I didn't put my hand over my heart.
You don't have to.
I didn't know why I refused the Pledge of Allegiance. And it's funny because that
It's in your DNA.
you said that. 'Cause at 6th grade, I walked into middle school and was like, fuck this, not gonna happen.
Not gonna happen.
And since then, I don't think any sports, like when you go to sports events, or I don't think I have said the Pledge of Allegiance since then. So I pledge of allegiance to a flag, the United States of America, and to the republic, for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And what you just say though, Republic, right?
Yeah.
And everybody's running around talking about Republic this, Democrat that, Republic that, right? In the Constitution, it speaks about every state of the union guarantees a Republican form of government. If you're a constitutional attorney, and you hear me saying attorney, not lawyer, attorneys, they say this. Sabir did not make this up. I'm just quoting the law. So now, if you don't study the language, if you don't understand this is a republic and we were republics at first, means back to the public. Republic. Democracy is demos cratique, which is a Latin group. Look it up. Demo, which is demon, cratique. Latin, Greek. Look them up online. Go to a dictionary right now. Look them up.
And will it have all of that?
Yes. It was,
Latin, Greek, it will have everything?
Yes. Anytime you read a dictionary, you see GR, you may see FR, you may see these words in what it says, French, German, this, that. So when you take the words apart, remember I told you everything is a prefix and a suffix. Demos is demon, Karasik, Latin, Greek, which means the demon rules. Now I'm gonna show you how crazy this is what Malcolm X was dealing with. Remember what Malcolm X said in Democracy? Go back and listen to Malcolm's speeches. Malcolm said, in a democracy, the mob rules. That's what Malcolm said back in the day. Remember, I told you he started waking people up. You may see FR. Malcolm said, he talked about in a democracy, the majority of the people rules. That's what he said in there. So you have 10 people and one person to disagree with those 9 people in a democracy, that rules. Those 9 people rule that one. And every vote, he talked about that. One vote, one count. So because of people have been indoctrinated now, so they thinking this is this is what they'll say. Well, brother, this is a democratic democracy. Help me find that somewhere. I didn't see that in the Constitution. I'm only asking constitutional questions. You can make up what you want to make up, but I can't find democratic. I can't find that in the state constitution, nor can I find it in the U.S. Constitution. Democratic democracy. Help me. Is that anywhere? No. It says republic, which is the people, if the people became conscious to who they are. So the people make the changes. The police don't work for corporations. The police are supposed to work for you. That's how it operates. They don't work for corporations, or do they? If the police work for you, then how could the police tell you what to do? Ain't it vice versa? If I'm working for you, can I tell you what to do? I
pay you on my tax dollars. They get so mad when I tell them that.
No, but do you
don't really, I pay you?
Do you really pay with your tax dollars? Do you really?
So we thought. So we think.
I'm just throwing it out there. Ask questions. So if he works for you, then why or we put him in place? You put him in place when you don't even know the difference between democracy and republic. You follow me? When you don't even understand the difference between a statute, ordinance, regulations, and law, how did you put them there? Well, we voted them to be there. You voted how? See, this is the comebacks. These are the comeback questions. This is why when you put someone on a show, you make sure that person don't know anything. If you put a person on knows, this is the comebacks. Okay, well, how could you possibly do that? I just was in Atlanta and my boys we get ready to do a video called Parking Woes. How all parking meters are privately owned.
Why?
All parking meters are privately
owned. All parking meters.
Yes, Google it. They rent them to the city. People understand. And actually, a couple of them is owned by Abu Dhabi.
What?
Look it up. Don't take my word for it. Look it up. But people don't research anything because they're constantly busy every day. I gotta make a living, brother. I gotta go to the strip club tomorrow's Friday. You know, I gotta get my paper together. You know, this is how they happen. Speaking on things that we don't even know. You don't do pre-speaking or prejudging until you do the research. You shut up and be quiet. You fall back and you say, let me see first. And this is what happens. So yes, they would think that I'm far-fetched with stuff, but when I'm speaking, I'm giving you sources that you can research this information on. This is why we're in the condition that we're in. It's not always the so-called white man that's doing it. You're doing it too. That's it. That's how it operates. When you start researching this information, again, some people get scared. This is not a democracy. This is a republic. So when we're not talking about the Republican Party, people, we think, oh, the Republican, we're not talking about that. That's something that's new. Republic means the people. When the people become conscious, that's why when Malcolm started talking about the history, when Malcolm started talking about human rights violations, he became a problem. You see what I'm saying? Not because he was talking about the white man was the devil. It wasn't none of that. I spoke with the elder that was with Malcolm when he got killed. He's in LA. He said it wasn't that. When you start telling people to deal with human rights issues, as when cops shoot people, it's not a brutality case. It's a terrorism case. It's called police terrorism, not brutality, because you violated a human life. Or was black people human?
So I know recently, not recently, but Trayvon Martin's, Michael Brown, what you're saying, they went to the UN as far the mothers.
What UN?
the United Nations.
We're at New York.
From what I understand, they went to the convention that was in Europe.
Okay, Geneva Convention. And what happened when they were there?
They got denied.
There you go. I know. Why? They want their being black. There was no black nations out here. When you study your European unions, look it up online. European unions, they talk about nations, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no black nation out here. No. That's another one too. There's no such thing as United States nations. This is why Bush can't even leave where he's from, with Texas, because he locked up for war crimes. You understand what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
They were here. Why are our black politicians and leaders and attorneys not talking about brutality, terrorism, but we talking about brutality? Why are we here talking about civil rights instead of human rights? Think about it for a minute. You never hear that.
Mm.
Now, when they flip it, if a Muslim did something, they say, oh, it's terrorism.
Absolutely.
When the dude bombed the Planned Parenthood, they didn't say that was terrorism. They didn't say that. When you watch these events with Europeans, they never say that. But we have black people speaking on things that don't even understand it. Dude, you deal with that. Stay over there with that brutality. Don't deal with no terrorism. The young brothers I just saw in Jersey who shot somebody, they said in Camden, it was recently, I have the newspaper, and it said they terrorized the neighborhood. This is what they said. They used that word in the newspaper. They terrorized the neighborhood. So what the hell does cops do? Are they terrorized? They are municipal guards, local police. People don't know that. So they're no different than the average person walking the street. It's just that you're not educated on this stuff.
Mm.
When you study, I'm gonna show y'all this. You can look it up too. Title 18 of the United States Codes, not the United States Superior Codes. Title 18 of the United States Codes talks about terrorism and domestic terrorism. Look it up. It don't say anything about brutality. Brutality doesn't even exist in law.
What is it?
Title 18 of the United States Codes. Scroll down to domestic.
It came up. I put Title 18 and it popped up.
Now, how many politicians says that to our people? I'm telling you where to go at. So how you think I'm crazy?
And the first website was Cornell.
Did not say Superior University did it. I didn't make it up. So if you are a constitutional attorney, why don't you know that? Why don't you go there? Because they're not dealing with human beings. They're dealing with chattel property.
Mm.
So when you're killing someone, it is not a civil rights issue. It is not a what's the other word they use? Civil rights, brutality, all those silly things.
Mm-hmm.
Brutality is if I take my glasses and throw them against the wall, I'm being brutal to my glasses, but that's not a human rights violation. It's an inanimate object. It's not real. So I could do what I want to do with it. But when you have a law dictionary, you look up the word terrorism, it'll tell you it's a violation of constitutional law to a human being. If I say there's a bomb in the building, what do you think they're going to tell me? They're going to do what to me? Get me for what? Domestic terrorism. There you go. Ain't that big? So when you shooting someone 50, 100 times, you want to turn around and have these people say, oh, that's brutality. What school did you go to?
It's terrorism.
I just went and showed you where is that. I didn't go to college to know this.
So I'm currently looking at the code 18. I'm in part 1 of crimes.
I think it's 5 where you can find that at domestic.
And well, I can't find, I found terrorism.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, there is no.
Brutality doesn't exist in there.
Yeah.
But domestic terrorism is in it. You can Google domestic terrorism and it'll tell you exactly what it is. I didn't make this up, but go ask your politicians and your lawyers and let me correct that, these attorneys, that question. And I call them attorneys because they're not lawyers.
Under the current United States law set forth in the USA Patriot Act, acts of domestic terrorism are those which A, involve acts of dangerous to human life that are a violation of the criminal laws of the United States or of any state. B, appear to be intended to intimidate, coerce a civilian population. What?
Now stop what you just said. When you're forcing someone to do something, when a cop pulls you
You're
over,
resisting.
there you go. So you're coercing me, and that's a violation of 13th Amendment. You can't force me to do that.
And people don't get out of jail for this?
Basic fundamentals, because I told you earlier, we have the wrong people in the right places. We are looking for someone with a suit and a tie on to speak for us. So if I'm coming And you see me, you think that's a nigga over here that went to jail. Nigga, I never went to jail to learn this. Sorry, wrong person. And that's the mentality that we have. I never went to jail to learn this. So I refuse to go to big. I would challenge the professor. That's how it go. So I'm gonna say no, and I'm gonna quote the books from the top of my head and say, this is where you can find this, and this. I could take you to Corpus Juris Secundum. I could take you to words and phrases. I could take you to the United States codes. I could take you to every law dictionary from Bouvier's, the Ballantines, the Blackstones. I can go there, but they would never tell you that. That's why I said, if you bring them in front of me, we can have this debate on an open floor.
Have you ever considered opening a school?
Eventually, I don't, my thing is, I'm not big on it. It's like, you do that. That's not, I'm here to facilitate with you. I'm here to help you. So when you study universities and how they got started, this is why I'm telling people like, oh, we got to get millions of dollars to do this. No, you started where you at. Universities got started. I was in UCLA. I went down there and I saw a plaque of how this guy got started. I said, damn, like all your colleges got started in a basement or a house of somebody. And they started enrolling people. People understand how simple this stuff is.
There's a school that in New York.
I was in Houston, Texas about a week ago. Joy DeGruy was there and Ray Hagins was there, right? I'm sitting here. I don't agree with a lot of that stuff. I hear it, like I'm not a fan of people having doctors because doctors fix things. See what I'm saying? They don't keep putting band-aids on bullet wounds. You fix the problem. Like a doctor, you're supposed to fix it. So when I'm watching these people use these titles, what have we fixed? You see what I'm saying? I'm in the shrine of the black so-called Madonna. That's where I was at. As I'm sitting outside in the car with the brother, it was raining in. And the brother was telling me, the elder was saying, well, you know, Houston is sinking. I think he said it shrunk 6 inches, right? Because it shrinks because of the buildings. He's an old elder. He's busting up about the heights and why the floods is happening in Houston. I'm sitting there like, wow, man, like he's 70 something years old. I'm sitting there like, okay. He said, well, they're not going to talk about it in there because they got 501c3. They can't talk about those things.
How does a 501c stop you from having those conversations?
Because it's tax exempt stuff. And what happens, what do? They'll take that from you if you start speaking like that. That's why you don't hear people talking about homosexuality. You don't hear certain people being in certain places because if you spoke about it, they say, why did you bring that person in here? See what I'm saying? There's a difference. Same thing with universities. There would never have you can come in and talk about black power, the white man's the devil. You can talk about all that crazy stuff. You can talk about all that. Because why? It's emotionalism. Emotionalism sells. Truth don't sell. And that's what's going on right now, even in this conscious community. Majority of the stuff I hear is emotionalism. It's not factual. And when I said with Earl Grant, which the elder was with Malcolm X, he was telling me this. He's 90 something years old. I'm sitting here with him like, I got to record him before he go. I'm in LA with him like, wow. He said Malcolm started telling people what was going on at the end of his days. That's why Malcolm became a problem. We talk that we want to fix this problem. We don't really want this problem fixed. And a lot of people that we go to don't want it either, or they know or don't know. That's why I said I'm not a fan of people calling themselves professors or doctors or scholars. Because if you're not talking about what I'm telling you and researching what I just said, because I just gave a whole bunch of stuff, whether you know it or not, where you can find this at. Why aren't we talking about that? We can fix this problem.
So what do you consider yourself?
Bay. That's it. My bay is a governor. It means govern. I'm the bay. And bays do what? We govern our areas. That's what it is. It's not a name. The Europeans took the bay and called themselves governors. That's all it is. So when we walk into a room, we can see it. We say, okay. I told you before, when you walk in the room, your light shines and you ain't got to say nothing. Nothing. They'll see it and say, well, we don't want, let's go to the one over here that says, God bless America, nowhere else. Let's go to this one. They'll shift it. And they will never have this on here because I'm not talking ignorant. I'm not talking white supremacy. I'm not talking post-traumatic slave syndrome again. I'm not talking those issues. I'm saying, look, This is what happened. This is why this go on. Europeans are your children. Put your children back in check. That's all you got to do. They come from you. I know some of these black people say, what are you talking about? They come, you created these people. You did that. I didn't create that. Well, yes, you did. So if you have an albino child, you didn't create the albino child? Yeah, you did. That happens. Happens a lot in Africa too. Yeah, go look online. You'll see it. We created them. So put your children back under control. When I was in Texas, I was in a cab with a brother from Ethiopia. He told me that it's science, he said, not religion. He said all white people, he used that term, and I said I had to correct him to us that they're not white, but he just used it because he thought first I was the condition black hair. He said all white people have blacks in them. That's what he said to me scientifically. I said, really? So we just started talking about history now. And he said, I said, yeah, I know. And I said, I'm Habesha. He said, you are? He said, where you from? Like, when you start speaking to these people, then they'll start opening up, not from a slave mentality. And when you look at our history, it's always based on slave mentality. Oh, you were slaves. We put all y'all over here on slave ships, and this is what we did. Oh, y'all couldn't read and write. Couldn't read and write. Yes, we could. What do you mean couldn't read and write? Yes, we can. Europeans couldn't read and write. So what do they mean we couldn't read and write? I can't read music because I don't do music. I can't read that. So again, it's about understanding the history. And once you study the history of the Moors, you will get all this stuff will opening up. And people saying, oh, that's a religious group that was in North Africa. No, I just showed you a book that the Moors was in New Guinea, the Moors was in Ghana, and the Moors that's in Ethiopia, which is the Zigway, right? The Zigway. Look it up, the Zigway. They was the ancient Cushites. It's a kingdom in Ethiopia. So when I say that, I'm still speaking of Moors, period. And that's why I brought up the movie Black Knight with Martin Lawrence, which was a stupid movie. They called him a Moor through the whole movie. Did you see that movie?
Mm-hmm.
When he fell in the water
Mm-hmm.
and he became unconscious?
We ordered it on Netflix, so I could go back.
It's there. All the stuff is there, but we don't study that type of stuff. We don't get into that because we're looking for slavery again. When I had the conversation with Stevie Wonder in LA, it was funny as hell. We sitting there busting it up. He said, I know. He said, I know I'm a Moor. He said, but our people don't know that we're Moors. You simply, he said, our people don't know. My Sharia Moor. If you listen to the soundtrack, if you listen to the soundtrack to Bamboozle, he says in 1492 shores, 700 years educated by the Moors. From now until then, we've been unrepresented people.
All right, say that again.
Go to YouTube, punch in Stevie Wonder's Misrepresented People. It's from the Bamboozle soundtrack. It comes on, he said, in 1492.
Hold on. In 1492.
When y'all came upon these shores, 700 years educated by the Moors. From now until then, we have been unrepresented people. And he goes through this whole song. And he gives you the timeline when crack came, when that came. He's running it down. And to sit with him, and I'm sitting having this conversation with him. And he's telling me, I know I'm a Moor. And people don't even know that. These entertainers know. I was with Danny Glover in New York, sitting in a coffee shop with him. And I had a coffee shop, the juice bar in Harlem, and he was with his grandbaby. And we sitting there talking. And he said, I said, you familiar with the Moors? He said, yeah, I'm familiar with the Moors. He said, but I'm a marksman. I'm going to pause that for a minute. Do you know what a marksman is?
I do not.
Marksman is Karl Marx. That's what a marksman is. So when he said it to me that way, he didn't expect me to come right back and say, oh, I know I'm very familiar with Karl Marx. And Karl Marx was actually a Moor. People understand that. These entertainers know. But the problem is they can't tell it to the masses of the people. So when I'm looking at people who claim to be scholars and teachers and professors and that, it's your duty to know that. It's your job to know who you are. Not just slavery. So now every 30 years, like the guy sitting in New York, we have a new roots grade come out. And this is what it is. He's saying it's not real, but it's better than the old one. It's a fiction. I said, damn, like, wait a minute. Like, this is what he said to me in Harlem. It's not real. And guess who was passing out the flyer? One was a brother and one was a European, passing out the little flyers for the series. But this is what they constantly put out there on people.
I think you said on Tuesday that it came out of a book. Like,
yeah, with a book, you can go online, look it up. And I actually told a sister I was walking with in Harlem. She was walking, and I don't know who she was. I don't know if she was homeless or not. And we're walking and talking. I said it came out this book called The African. It was plagiarized. You can Google it. It was plagiarized back then. Alex Haley plagiarized that because she said to me, well, that's his family. I said, well, that's his family. That's not my family, though. That's what I told her. And I said, oh, that may have happened to his family, but it didn't happen to my family. But as we're walking and we're talking in Harlem, she says, I said, well, it was plagiarized. It was taken from the book called The African. You can look it up. And the people from, I think it was Ghana, they said they know it's a lie, but it's a great lie because it brings money there. This is how it is. Look it up. Don't take my word for it. It's online. Harold Kurlander, I think is the name. If you're going to Harold Kurlander, Roots plagiarized, Alex Haley plagiarized Roots, you'll see the whole storyline. I used to have the newspaper. So what happens, it didn't happen to everybody. But there's also a documentary called The Prince Among Slaves. I don't know if you saw that. The Prince Among Slaves. I would say get it. Mos Def plays Abdul Rahman, the Moor that was captured in slavery. Mos Def did the narration in that documentary. It's called Prince Among Slaves. But we don't look at that. And it ain't pushed that out there as a series, and it should be a series.
It was a documentary.
Huh?
It's labeled under history documentary.
See? Prince Among Slaves. And Mos Def did the whole narration on there. And he speaks about the Moor that got captured and brought over here. And he was trying to get out under the treaty that we have with the United States. There's a whole history behind that, but we don't know the real Moors. If you go to Italy, you'll actually see the same thing. You see the 4 Moors. I showed you that. So they were capturing people. It was from Guinea, Ghana, wherever you were from, you still was a Moor. So they brought you here, and now what? Are they talking about that in Roots? Did they talk about that in Roots back then? In the 70s when it came out? I bet you they're not talking about it in here. So they have to condition a whole new generation with the storyline behind Roots and make all their movies look like they're heroes and don't realize they're talking about you. It ain't got to do with them. It's you that did. You don't know. You're the Torag. And they made the damn Jeep behind it called the Torag. Look the Torag up. The Jeep. That was the Moors in the Sahara. And they made a movie called the Sahara.
Volkswagen.
All that stuff. Who make Volkswagens? Germans. Okay. See the connection? It's all there. They made a movie called The Sahara. And in the whole, you see them Moors all wrapped up and they going through the desert. They were the desert people or the Twa people, the little short people. That's us. The Droids, all that stuff is us.
So forgive my ignorance, but are the Twa and the Twee people two different people?
The Twa and the Twee?
Yeah.
It depends on the language. How, like you can spell Torag.
Sankofa Twee.
It could be the same thing. I never really studied the Sankofa thing, but I go a different way in history. And that's why I said it's hard for some people to follow that because they're not used to this way. They're just used to, okay, the Sankofa, I got that. Even the symbol of Sankofa is in Europe. It's on people's awnings. It's a symbol. That's yours. It's not Europeans. All that stuff come from us. But if you're looking for your history in being slaves or looking for it in being black, you would never see that that's you. All that's yours. Everything is based on you. And Europeans make mad money off of it. This machine that we're using right now, this come from the Congo, right here.
Yeah, little kids mining minerals.
The Cotans. That's why you think they were talking about kick the kings out the Congo. I'm looking at this literally like, wait a minute, these people are crazy. Do you understand language again? The K is a C. Like they can spell America with a K or C. And some people play around with it like that. America, KKK. They do that. Do you ever see that? The D is a T. The I is an E. N, you can spell N-E-N or I-N. They're interchangeable. But that's going into language again. We're not taught that. That's why they manipulate everything. But it means the exact same thing. If you Google the Torag, you'll see Torag spelled many different ways. But that's you, but you don't put yourself there. Even to the Danes, or the Danishes, or the Twa, or the what else the other one? The Druids, the Saracens, all those people are you. But you still looking for black, which is a modern English term. Came around about the 1500s. So if we're gonna teach this, let's teach it for real. Let's not just teach that, oh, well, we came over here in late 15 and 1600s. Go back to the song I just told you what Stevie Wonder said. In 1492, when you came upon these shores, This book says 1400s, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we talk about history before the 1400s? Because we wasn't calling ourselves black at that time. It's modern. So now they said, if a man don't treat you right, he ain't gonna teach you right. So now we in his schools, we're black people. Well, that's what they said, we're black people. We're black. Okay, what kind of black person are you? Leave the emotions out for a minute. Leave them over there somewhere. Remember Malcolm said, leave your religion in the closet with you and your God? That's how I feel. Leave your emotions over here before you walk in here.
Mm-hmm.
Let's deal with factology. Get out of your emotions. Don't tell me everything came out of darkness. Darkness don't necessarily mean that it's black. No, it doesn't. You can have dark somewhere and don't mean that it's black. So if you're talking about black, what kind of black person are you? If I'm saying this is a black computer, but I'm looking on it and say, oh, it's an Intel or a ThinkPad. Okay, I got that. Now I just gave the noun to the adjective. Like the fish is called a blackamoor fish. That's what it's called. Look it up. The black was the adjective to describe that fish. Even when you watch the movie, the TV series Arnold Wilson, he was talking to a blackamoor fish. Arnold used to sit down and talk to him all the time. His name was Abraham. Hey, Abraham. But it was a blackamoor fish. The two sons were Moors. The father was a Mason, watching over the two boys. It's a storyline and everything. Popeye and Brutus. Get the book Ancient and Modern Brits, written in 1884. When you start studying the timelines and things, Europeans don't have a language. We keep saying the language. This is not their language. Ancient and Modern Brits was written in 1884 about the Brits that was fighting. We basically was fighting each other first. But then the European comes in, like I say, Captain Saberhose. They always come in and actually, like they do right now, go overseas and, jump in and say, we're the saviors. And everybody look, oh, well, he said, what is wrong with them? I'm not a racist. I love my race. That's all it is. Don't you love your race? When people call me that, I say, don't you love your race? They say, yeah. Then all right, then. Did that make me a racist? Because I love my race? Everybody love their race. But if you study history, you will get it. When you look at the storyline with Popeye and Brutus, Popeye was an Englishman. Brutus was us, the original Brits. You just read an article about the Moors being, Spain falls again to the Moors. Didn't it say olive complexion in there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Olive.
Italian.
So,
See, Italian was a European. Whoever impregnates the woman inherits the land. That's how it goes. All land
and
comes
that's
from
why
women.
they fought the whole time.
There you go. This is why they didn't like Dodi Lafayette with Princess Diana. They called him a sand nigger. She was pregnant when she died. People don't understand that. All of it comes from the woman. So whoever inherits the inheritance comes from the woman. It's heritage. Her, Mother Nature. Her. It doesn't come from a man. It comes from a woman. People understand that. So now they have to amalgamate with our people. Like in Ethiopia, the Chinese is going over there now. And they amalgamating with our sisters over there right now too. So now they can't own land over there, but their children can own land when they come. Because why? Because they was born there. See how the same thing happened here with Montezuma. When you study what happened with Montezuma with our Mexican brothers and sisters, it's the same exact thing. Montezuma was a Moor. So they did what? They killed off all the dudes, amalgamated with the indigenous people that was there. Now we have these $5 Indians that's coming in saying we are the true Indians, while black people don't even realize they're the original Indians because they don't know history. Wipe out.
What's interesting is so again, I'm not afraid to admit my ignorance, but I did a family tree for my grandmother last year for our family reunion, and my great grandmother was a Moor. And from what my grandmother told me and my great grandmother told me, there were never any slaves in our family.
My grandmother told me this. Now, if you tell a black person that, because we've been conditioned, they want to fight you. I told him that in New York one time, probably years ago. He jumped off. He was literally going to jump on the stage at me. No lie. He said, I've been black all my life. I'm 52. That's your problem. And then when I was there, because I don't have nobody walking with me, but the dudes that was up there want to approach him because it's a condition, because he never heard this before. So he's saying, Who you talk, you know? No, dude, hold up, brother. Let me explain myself to you. And that's what I want people to get, that part. My grandmother passed, my grandma passed probably like 9 years ago. My great grandmother, she was 106. She told me the same thing you just said. She was told, she said, I know I'm a Moor. And we call them the Geechees or the Gullah Geechees.
That's what the Cape Verdeans are.
There you go. They're Moors. That's the Gullah Geechees. This is your land. You see what I'm saying? If you don't know that, you would never put yourself there. Now we can say, well, I got Indian in my family. Yeah, you are, because you're the original Indian. But Hollywood make you think the Indians are these people over here.
Well, society makes you feel like you're wrong for claiming it.
They make them feel like they're wrong. They can't make me wrong. Say that again. If you want to say stuff.
No, say it. I want you to chime in.
Say it.
So let me ask you a quick question, because you're over there. So we got Blaine in the building. Shout out to Blaine. Woo! Abisha from Ethiopia. Was this a learning for you? Was this learned knowledge for you, or was this something that was throughout the years taught to you?
It was a combination of learned and just remembering. I've sort of been one of those like sleep-wake people my entire life, just constantly tormented, kind of seeing through the veil, but not understanding, like not being able to find anything that evidence what I intuited. And then 4 years ago, I met Sabir when I was going to New York, because I was put on by someone that I know who was looking for me to put me onto this knowledge, and was like, you're probably the only person in Boston I know that's even going to begin to understand this or embrace it. And so the following week, I hopped on a Greyhound, went to New York, went every single Wednesday for an entire year.
Wow.
Started going on Saturdays and couldn't grasp it at all. Went every single day, was struggling with the cognitive dissonance, right? And trying to just break the mental constructs. And then when I stopped going, about 3 months later, it all just made sense, like on a macro level. And I was like, wow, shit. And could just see through like how globally and domestically, like how things were set up. But then now to apply that is a whole different ballgame that I haven't mastered yet.
So one of the things that you said earlier, both of you actually, was the fact that you were invited to Cesaria's, but you didn't eat anything because you guys don't eat that kind of food. So
What is that again? What is
The
that?
restaurant that we went to with your Somalian friend and my cousin. The
Oh, that's
Cape
right.
Verdean restaurant.
Oh, yeah. Talking about that place.
yeah. So what is it that you do eat? And I know you said earlier, and we have it on film, that you're not a vegan, you're a vegetarian.
I'm a breatharian.
And that's actually where I was going with this, as far as like.
I'm like a breatharian, man. So it could be anything. Like today, I didn't eat anything. I came straight here. I drank coffee. I didn't eat anything. Most people eat like 3 times a day, and that's not good for you. That's not a good look. You know, you were taught by Europeans you got to eat 3 times a day.
How many times are you supposed to eat?
I eat when I feel like it. Once, if I eat enough, if you eat enough, you don't have to eat for the rest of the day. You can snack on things. But this is why we have all the problems that we have. We can't think straight, diabetes. We shouldn't have these problems. Not at all. We shouldn't have heart diseases. We shouldn't have none of these problems.
None of it.
So when you build up so much mucus in the pineal gland, you can't even think right.
And that's the cheeses, that's the milk.
That's the milk,
Peanuts.
cheese, all that.
Don't
shit.
say peanuts now.
Well, it's not so much peanuts, but it's the peanuts that are grown either here or wherever they're getting it imported,
Genetically modified.
or hybrid, whatever. They're doing something to it, but whatever it is that they're doing, it causes me.
So let me ask you the craziest question. And the reason why I say it's the craziest question is because when I go to Whole Foods or I go to Trader Joe's, they look at me like I'm crazy. So as far as watermelons are concerned, as far as grapes are concerned, you are what you eat, right? So if I'm eating seedless grapes, does that then make me barren? No, you can't.
Okay, I'm just asking that question. I mean, I don't eat watermelons without seeds. I have to get a seed.
Where do you find seeds at? I haven't found a seed in the Northeast.
You can find them.
Yeah.
You can find them. Listen, the beauty about living in LA too, in LA, like you can go to farms, man, out in LA, and you can see people growing their own watermelons on those farms in LA. The problem is everything is restricted with certain people. Again, it's not about, it's go back again. We're looking for people to have suit and ties on,
Well, he has a doctors and something, and you know, we can sit back and say we know certain things that can heal you, like turmeric things. You see what I'm saying? They are
Yeah, the FDA.
Who are
approve
they?
it.
You need to question the FDA.
The FDA has people in Monsanto working for them,
But-
and Monsanto has people at the
There
FDA
you go.
working
So
for
what
them.
we should do is have the same people working for us. The problem is we don't see the value in each other. That's how it is. We find value in other people. And I remember Karis when we was on the road one time. Karis once said, "Find the value in your brother. When he does something, lift him up. Like that's what's up, you know." And that's how hip hop was. You know, okay, you won, brother. That's what's up. You know what I mean? It's just the same way with chess we were talking about earlier. When you study the history of chess, you know how that game got started? There's a whole history behind chess. There were two brothers fighting one another. Two brothers, tribes, but they the same family, fighting and killing one another.
Mhm.
And what did they do? They said, look, we got to stop this. We got to create something. So they got the brightest minds to come together and create. And again, it's not necessarily called chess back then, but to show you how it started, it was to say, look, we got to create a game so we can stop killing each other, our tribes. And the one who won congratulates the one who lost. That's chess. So when you study the history of chess, that's where it came about. Two brothers fighting one another. So again, we don't look at that, nor do we value our brothers. We thinking that we have to have a degree in something, you know, to fix this, and they're not coming to save us. Sorry, people, you don't have a man on a horse coming to save you. Don't look for a Messiah. Don't look none of that stuff. Everything you're looking for is already inside you. And that's again going back to what I said about the alchemist. Stop looking outside yourself and look within inside yourself, because it's there. So we have things and we think things are going to make us happy when they don't. You see all the celebrities that's dying off.
Mhm.
They got money, but they don't have health. And health is not just, you know, eating a certain way. It's just your mentality. When you're constantly stressed, when I watch Michael Jackson, when I watch Cat Williams now, I'm watching these people and I understand this industry. I'm sitting here like I could have been where they was at, but I put my middle finger up, be like, F you, know that's not going to happen. This is why Yasim left Most Def. He don't want to be a part of this because he saw that. I talked with him. He shared this with me. So people bail out before that. Lauryn Hill, same way.
She said, I ain't paying taxes. Fuck y'all.
No, bailed out. But the catch was we should have been there for our sister.
Mm.
But the problem is when you're in this industry, it's like you got to go through that one person.
Mhm.
And they have people around them, like pimps, like who else? Drug. You know, you watch the movies, you watch Temptation. You remember the scene in the movie when the cocaine dude was there? You know, remember that? Look at Bishop Don Juan. Who was he hanging with? Snoop. These are the people they want to hang around you. So now you can't get to them unless you go through a third party. I went through that with three people. I'm gonna mention these three people that I went through this with. I know these people personally. I went through that with D.L. Hughley one time in LA. I went through that with Eddie Griffin one time in Vegas. I went through that with Stevie Wonder in LA. The wrong people around them. This is what they place. This is the agents. They say, no, you don't go over here. Don't talk to this person. You go over here. So now you have
Rose.
Don't tell me.
I'm working on that part right there.
So what do you eat as far as fake meat is concerned?
It's like you have, it's not tofu,
tofu. It's like plant. A lot of stuff is plant based too. Like
chlorophyll?
no, that's like what is it called? It's what's the name of that stuff they said it was?
The last place that
Yeah,
had, I think it was Tempe.
tempeh. But
Isn't that like seaweed?
I don't know.
No, it's a protein. I believe it's a protein, vegetable protein, something or other. I don't eat it.
But let me go back to this real quick about the Lauryn Hill and them situation, because she bailed out before, and I want people to study this too. I give up a lot. See, this is a free consultation right here. It's Title 26 of this. She's laughing like, you're giving up too much information. I know. Maybe they'll book me to come speak somewhere. I don't know. Maybe
Everybody, make sure you give them a call. What's the number? How can we reach you? What's the website?
info@theseverebasshow.com. That's the email. info@theseverebasshow. The website is theseverebasshow.com.
And for the slow people that can't spell?
SABIRBEY show. You got the SABIRBEY show.com. All right, that's the website. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.
If you want me to bring them up, you can email hiddenseedboston@gmail.com.
Hidden Seed.
Yeah, hidden. Yeah, everything. But Lauryn Hill, like,
It's still on. I don't know what it's doing.
still recording.